Okay, class, let's take a look. We are still in the three vehicle. Okay, so in the three vehicle, remember that we are in the Eight Noble Path. So now we come to the verse: following conventional truth to link oneself with reality, is that the way of the right contemplation? Class, basically in the whole three vehicle, remember in the very beginning, we start to talk about you must have a renunciation, the intention to renounce, you see. So then remember that we target both layman and the monk. This is secondly. Then third, we try to talk about why people want to renounce is because the suffering is from suffering, and the core is the existence of the five aggregate. Why there is a five aggregate is due to the ignorance and also the craving. So this is the second noble truth is regards the cause of the suffering. Okay, and then from here we start to talk about is the nirvana. Nirvana is the liberation. They are the effect. Okay, and then the last one again we talk about the path. Okay, so the path will be the three training we mentioned. Remember how we go quite deep also regarding the sila, samadhi, panya, and we involve the sila for the monk. Okay, so after that we go to the 12 link condition, paticca samuppada. This is also under the category why there is a reincarnation, because the whole circle of the reincarnation is completely explained in the will. Also remember, so due to the ignorance, ignorance and the formation in the past life. So this life we have our body, we have our organ, five faculty, then we will contact. All right, and then the consequence is the effect is we start to creating the karma, and the karma can be enhanced. Then later on in next life, there will be reincarnation. So this is the first time the 12 link condition has been mentioned in this section, you see. And then after this section, you remember I think I don't remember. I remember because I talk almost all the time. I think I don't remember. Then we go back again to the eight noble path again. So that is the major. So we begin with the right view. Okay. So in the right view again, we mention again the 12 link condition. See or not? So it repeat twice. So one is in the Four Noble Path. Then secondly, this is in the right view. Meaning to say that the 12 link condition, you must be able to see the element for each one, and then as a right view, because right view means what? Means that cause in fact based on three life: past life, present life, and the future life. Basically, if we call ourselves as a real Buddhist, we will interpret the world with the three life, and there must be some cause and effect involved. Okay, and then there must be differentiation between the good and bad. Okay, and then finally there must be the sage and also the worldly people. So this is the right view, you see. So for Buddhists, if they can see the thing in the right view, you will feel you can accept whatever happened to you easily, because everything there's a cause and effect. Everything involves past life and the future life, and then the present is the most important. If you work hard in the present, you can change your future. Yes, there's not necessary just keep on blaming. The past life. But from the past life, we understand the cause. Everything there's a cause and effect. People cannot accept because they deny the cause. They don't accept the facts. So that's what. Actually, this part is from the five vehicle. So I bring in here to make the explanation better. Do you realize or not? Actually, I bring from the five vehicle to the three vehicle to explain. Do you realize? No, you don't realize because I'm the one who talk everything, you don't talk. Okay, so now we go back again to the right view. So in the right view, basically in three vehicle, it will mention that there will from true perspective. One is regarding the conventional truth, one more is regards the ultimate truth. So in previous lesson, Mr. Long asked that how come Vipassana, you have to contemplate the paticca samuppada. It's due to the sutta of 77 wisdom. It keep on mentioning very clear that if without the knowledge for the cause and condition, you won't be able to experience the Nibbana. So that is this sutra mentioned that. But the way I will see Mr. Leong in Thailand, basically, or maybe especially Thailand, if they don't go through the text or Abhidhamma in the complete in detail, some will ignore it. Some will ignore it. Some maybe they cannot. To construct the meditation skills based on the Paticca Samubhara. So the only thing is they just ignore it or maybe simplify it. Immediately go to the contemplation of anicca, dukkha, anatta, of the nama and rupa. Okay, get it, Mr. Leong? That's what you see in the reality world. But theoretically, of course, we go through the more complete one. Okay. So class, let's come back to see here. Okay, following conventional truth, a link oneself with reality is that the right of contemplation, you see. Meaning to say there's a fixed sequence, you see, the wisdom that abides in the Dharma and the wisdom that comes from the Nibbana. Okay, yeah, the wisdom can come from the Nibbana. This is the Niebhan Zhi. This is the wisdom abide in the Dharma is the Fa Zhu Zhi from the Sutra of 77 type of the wisdom. Okay, so according to this, you have to know present, past, and the future. Okay, and then you can realize the Nibbana only. And let's see how. So according to here, it says, Sutra said that following this method, to contemplate the law of dependent origination. We mentioned already, all conditioned things are impermanent. Once you go through this, let me show you the diagram. See how once you have gone through this, the cause and condition is in the Paticca Samubhara, this part, number 4. Then you start to contemplate anicca, dukkha, anatta, you will realize the Nibbana. This is from this sutra. We stop here. So let's continue. Yongsin, please, through the wisdom.
Through the wisdom that abides in the Dharma, therefore one knows that there's a transmigration and knows the certainty of cause and effect. And through the wisdom that comes from Nirvana, one knows the return to extinction and the extinct and empty nature of cause and effect. With the wisdom that abides in the Dharma, one knows that there is birth and extinction. With the wisdom that comes from Nirvana, one knows that there is neither birth nor extinction. With the wisdom that abides in the Dharma, one knows the condition and the worldly. With the wisdom that comes from Nirvana, one knows the unconditioned and the world transcending, realizing the conventional of cause and effect, independent origination, and subsequently aligning with the reality of dependent origination extinction. This is the inevitable course of the way of right contemplation. In Buddhism, there seems to be a mistaken tendency on the part of some, especially those who are older and have considerably worthy knowledge, but now want to seek the Buddha Dharma, to want only the wisdom that comes from Nirvana, not the wisdom that abides in the Dharma. They usually do not seek to understand dependent origination, certainty of cause and effect, or to determine the values of the Four Truths. Some think they already know this, but in fact they have not even a vague notion of them. They think that what they need is enlightenment and an understanding of the mind and its real nature. They do not know that without attaining the wisdom that abides in the Dharma, the wisdom that comes from Nirvana will not arise. Because of their inclination towards enlightenment, whatever they say or do seems to always revolve around the mind, its nature, practice, realization. Thus, they miss out the required process of enlightenment. Talking emptily about the nature of mind, emptiness, existence, principle, and practice, they become unable to differentiate between the internal and the external.
Okay, thank you so much. Leong Sing, just now in the very beginning, there's a background music from you. What is the background music?
Prayer, the Muslim prayer.
Oh, it sounds so wonderful with the background music from Muslim. Okay, possible you can just record down. Every time you read, you play the background music.
I hear it every day.
Oh, here I also got, I got 3 surah, I think here. So no need worry. I mean, you will be exempted from bombarding. But sometimes if you don't understand, the feel is good when you used to it, right? It seems the atmosphere of religions. Okay, yeah. But here I don't know people chant. How come? Now is what time is it? Now is what? Azam or what? Maghrib or what? No people know lah, because we are not Muslim lah. Okay. Written under it. One. Oh. Okay. Okay, class, let's take a look. See now. Here, we know more deep. We know in deep regards to wisdom abides in the Dharma, and we know the difference between the wisdom abide from Nirvana. Class, let's take a look. Number one, abides in the Dharma is there's a transmigration, the certainty of the cause and effect. So certainty, cause and effect is the traveling condition. The will we always mention. Okay, there's a cause and condition. All right. Then one thing is regarding Nirvana is what? The return to extinction and the extinct and the empty nature of the cause and effect. Every cause and effect, they are in empty nature, meaning to say that they are keep on changing. The cause and effect, their nature finally is anicca, dukkha, anatta. You see, then abide in the Dharma is what? Birth and extinction. You know, it's the regards of birth and extinction. And then for the Nirvana is neither birth nor extinction, you see. So meaning to say that when you attain Nirvana, you realize that neither birth nor extinction. And then for this one, wisdom abide in the Dharma, you know the condition and the worldly, you see. But for a nirvana, it's unconditioned and the world transcending. So meaning to say that by knowing the wisdom abide, the wisdom you can get from abide in the Dharma is regarding the cause and effect, regarding the birth and extinction, regarding the condition and the worldly. Whereas from the nirvana, you get the knowledge is regards to what neither birth nor extinction, unconditioned and the world transcending. Okay, so that is the point. In the next paragraph, actually, Master Yun mentioned is that nowadays, especially the older generation, I think he mentioned maybe it's in the China, basically, they don't really know the Patijasambhapada, like the Dharma will be memorizing, they don't really know that. They keep on go to the Anicca Dukkha Anatta and the emptiness. I think it happened mostly for we as a Mahayana. Remember, we chant the Diamond Sutra, we chant the Heart Sutra, but people usually they will say that, oh, this one, a traveling condition is under small vehicle Hinayana. So we don't want to learn it. Immediately we go to the Prajna. Some will suggest this. So that's why in Mahayana Center, basically like Sally Elena, so you do a lot of chanting, and in chanting, maybe you will know that a lot of emptiness, this thing is there. Even though not much explanation, and the worst part is this traveling condition maybe has been totally ignored. Am I right? It happened quite common in our environment. So Master Yin Shun try to pinpoint. But I think in Theravada, like Mr. Leong, what you know that I think they are more emphasized the traveling condition and Four Noble Truth. Then before go to the emptiness and contemplation. So this is what Reverend Yin Sun, the author, try to pinpoint the mystic generally. You see, at the bottom he said, the older one, the worldly knowledge, they have considered worldly knowledge. They always think that, you see, they say they just want nirvana only, not the wisdom that abide in the Dharma. They do not seek to understand dependent origination, certainty of cause and effect, and the value of Four Noble Truth. Basically, the understanding of a dependent origination and Four Truth is considered wisdom abiding from the Dharma. That is the 法住之 we call it wisdom abide. The wisdom that abides in the Dharma. Okay, but most of them are just emphasize only there's one only, just the nirvana only. You see, class will not arise. They do not know that without attaining the wisdom abiding in the Dharma, the wisdom from the nirvana will not arise. That is from this sutra of 77 wisdom. Mr. Leong, I mean, the moment you are in the Theravada, even though this sentence is not emphasized, is it emphasized the time you study in Theravada? Wisdom come from Nirvana. You have to get the wisdom in the Dharma first.
I think it's wisdom abide in the Dharma first.
Is this emphasized in Theravada?
I'm not so sure, Sifu, at the time.
At the time, yeah, because you have more wisdom now compared in the past. Okay. Anyway, after this, Mr. Leong, you can discuss further already, because now we try to master both Mahayana and Theravada texts now. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, let's take a look. So this is why it emphasizes. Please just highlight this. But anyway, class, if let's say you try the Zen school, actually all this is not present. What wisdom by in the wisdom wisdom from I should have 法住智 in English. This a wisdom that abide in the Dharma. All this is not very obvious in Tibetan school of meditation, in Zen Chinese meditation school. This is a more obvious, the only we see is still in the Theravada meditation, especially in Myanmar. I think Amanda, you ask if they don't have if they, Amanda, just now your facial expression means that if let's say the Chinese Zen school and the Tibetan they don't have so what does it mean? Do you show this question in your mind, Amanda? You don't meaning to say I laugh at nothing lah. So this is the problem, you see. Sometimes a sutra is mentioned in this way, but in practical, it doesn't happen exactly, you see. So anyway, class, what happened to you? What you can do, you just try whatever meditation is available for you. And if you can see the progress, especially the suppression of the five hindrances, okay, you feel free, you just go ahead. You try the method until to the end. Okay, so until to the end, now we come back to sutra. Oh, how come the method workable for you? It doesn't mention this the wisdom abide in the Dharma. So if that's the case, since you try the method, go to the end already, you can shift to other the tradition which will mention this type of wisdom abide in the Dharma and wisdom come from the Nirvana. So you can do so. You can do so because not many meditation really go through this step by step in this way. Okay, so this is how you try to do lah. Okay, let's see. So we finished this part already. Now we go to the next paragraph in the past. Yes, Amanda, please read this passage in the past.
In the past, there were masters who missed the point, thinking that the happy state of Confucius and his student Yan, the manifestation of highest virtues in the great learning, and the extending of one's conscience as taught by Mencius, were identical with the main ideas of Buddhism that came from the West. So some people said glibly that the sages of the East are of the same mind as the sages of the West, as if Confucianism and Buddhism were integrated. Yet among those Confucian masters who have studied the recorded lectures of Chan masters and practiced internal discipline, have any firmly recognized the cause and effect of the three periods of time? Have any sought right understanding from dependent originations, transmigrations, and extinctions? Have any realized that all sentient beings are equal? Fundamentally, they did not have the decisive wisdom that abides in the Dharma. The knowledge of the cause and effect of the three periods, inevitably, they drifted beyond the gate of the Buddha Dharma. Those Neo-Confucian masters could not agree with the Buddha Dharma. Moreover, why did they exclude Buddhism and Taoism the way they rejected Yang and Mo? They did so because they did not have the right understanding of the Buddha Dharma. They did not know that the wisdom that comes from Nirvana depends upon cultivating an understanding of the Dharma of dependent originations, cause and effect. Thus, if people think that the highest Buddha Dharma is concerned only with the mind, nature, or absolute spirit, they are going astray and abandoning themselves to degeneration.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, class. I think we don't. I mean, I generally study Confucianism. But first, we ask one question. Does Confucian 孔夫子 mention present, past, and future life? No, so you immediately disagree already. If let's say they deny this, they don't believe this, how about the cause and effect? God, cause and effect. Okay, God, it sounds God. How about the ghost? How about the ghost and the God? No, we say 敬鬼神的远之嘛 we should get away from the God and the spirit. Okay. How about renunciation? Did Confucians encourage for leaving home become a monk? Elena disagree. How about the rest? Disagree, right? Why? Because you remember not in Confucians, for them, even though the hair and the body is given by our parents, so you should keep them. That's why in ancient China, they keep the hair very long. Why? Because they say it's the gift from the parent. You shouldn't cut it and you shouldn't hurt your body. So that is the conception. Yes, so that's why once Buddhism come into the China, China is considered a highly civilized country compared with Thailand and Myanmar. They are not highly civilized. So once Buddhism reached to Thailand and Myanmar, immediately they occupy the whole civilization. They become the major part of the civilization. Whereas for Chinese Buddhism comes to the China, it takes time really for the assimilations. Because for example, they say, how come remember Chinese, we say we got there's three elements to show the filial piety. Number one is with the offspring. You see, not all right. This is Chinese viewpoint. You see, but we become a monk. Then how do we solve the problem? That's why, once Buddhism come there, the king have to always conduct the debate between the Buddhism and the Taoism, especially for this topic. So finally, we try to do some amendment and tell the China people that actually for being a monk is a great filial piety. The reason is once we become a monk, we will be filial piety to everybody, you see, who come to learn the Buddhism. They are our parents in the previous life. So we explain in this way. So finally, they accept. So they accept that, oh, okay, so we interpret the parents and filial piety not in a microscopic way, but in a more macroscopic. See a lot. So that's why finally now for the Chinese people, I think some still disagree, but you notice that mostly agree already. So the monk appeared in the Chinese movie, all this. Why? Because they accept the figure already. So that is the culture assimilation happened before. And one more thing, do you think Chinese people prefer people hold a bowl for Pindabat? Not acceptable, right? So that's why in China you seldom see monks do that. Of course, some, not many. So finally, all the monks in my senior, they have to go to the forest and start to do plantation by themselves. Because Chinese people, they don't accept this. They say this is a beggar. The culture is quite different from the Indian, see. So you see, meaning to say that Confucianism basically the background is quite different with the Buddhism. From here we know that. Then you see how. So we say they didn't have the decisive wisdom that abide the Dharma because they don't have they don't recognize cause effect of the trade period and that all sentient beings are equal. Yes, Confucianism, do they have the perception that all sentient beings are equal? Not equal, right? Basically, I think in family, they are more patriotic. Am I right? or patriotic, meaning to say they are more emphasized on parents, the authoritative, or especially father, or hold the absolute authoritarian, and then in the country, all the populations have the royal to the king. Am I right? Or everybody have the royal to the king, with the royal to the family. Well, I think it's totally different with the Western value. They are more emphasized on the basic human right. So that's why the son will call the father names in the Western country. They will call John. Actually, this is his father, you know. They will call the name of the headmaster. Oh, John, the headmaster name, you see. So for us, we don't do that. Why? Because we have the hierarchy within our value, our system value. Well, is there any culture shock for Elena or Sally or not? Once you're exposed to the Western culture, but Chinese value emphasize more on patriotic, but for Western culture more human rights and woman feminists. Okay, yeah, Elena, how do you coordinate between these two?
No coordination because we are Malaysian, we are not in America or things like that. So we have to follow our current lifestyle.
Or more on you accept the fact that for the patriotic, something like that. More on.
I'm grown up in a typical Chinese family. So in my family, my father actually comes from China. So we are very
orthodox.
Yeah, pretty orthodox kind of family. Yeah.
Oh, I see. So, but you don't look orthodox. Oh, joke with me, Okay, how about Amanda? Amanda, I think basic human rights is more important, right, for you, No more patriotic, more feminism. Am I right? No misogynist. Amanda, is this correct?
Kind of.
Kind of that. You see the difference already. Even though Amanda is Chinese, truly Chinese, but the mindset will be different because your family background is different, all right? Okay.
Also because different generation.
Yes.
She is still very young. If she, like Mr. Leong said, we are from a different generation altogether.
Yeah. So yes, this generation, the older, the more on the Chinese style, as we mentioned here. So this is the way, we brought up, I think we are like a middle, half here, somewhere for the basic, right? Somewhere is, sometimes a patriotic. So that is the style. Okay. Anyway, whereas for the Buddhism, we are quite a little bit different, you see. So we mentioned that all sentient beings are equal, basically it's equal. Because no matter from samatha vipassana, class, if you really experience the samatha, Sally, have you ever experienced during meditation that during the meditation, you feel the unity with all the people? It seems all the living beings, they are as a whole, they are from a whole thing. Have you ever experienced that, Sally?
Not actually.
Not really. You still feel the individualistic more. You haven't feel that. Meaning to say the jhana not strong yet. If it is strong, how about Mr. Leong, Mrs. Leong? Do you feel the unity, the whole sentient being as a whole? Mr. Leong?
Yes, actually, there's one big happy family because we are all interconnected and in the interdependence on each other.
Yeah, during the meditation, right, Mr. Leong? During the meditation, right?
Yeah. Yes, correct.
Okay, that's good. You see, so that's why we say all the being are equal. Partial is from the experience from meditation, and also the partial is from the experience of vipassana. Okay, so not the perception only, it's from the experience. That is from the Buddhism. So that's why I think nowadays, if you prefer equal, you want to fight for the equality, basic human rights, everybody is the same and equal. I think Buddhism is the choice. So in Indian, some they notice that they want to get away from the four caste system, they have to choose Buddhism. Okay, Amanda, You want to fight for women's human rights, come for Buddhism, because everybody is equal in Buddhism, right? But for I think the Christianity, they still got the position of the God and the slave, right? All other devotees they are considered as a slave. Is this correct? They consider as a slave, God is God. You cannot become a God, not equal. Whereas,
it is God and children, not slaves.
oh, God and children. Children always as children. Children, impossible to become a God, right? But for us, we can become a Buddha. You see. So I think you always fight for the equal rights. You have to come to Buddhism. You have to choose the Buddhism. Okay, next, let's see. Now you see, they didn't have this. Okay, then here, they didn't know that the wisdom come from the nirvana depends on what cultivating and understanding of the dharma of dependent origination as cause and effect. So that is the meaning for the wisdom come yeah, I cannot remember. Yeah, wisdom that abides in the Dharma. In the simple way, wisdom abides in the Dharma is the Paticca Samuppada, is the dependent origination of cause and effect. So that is the meaning. Okay. So next, okay, so one more paragraph. And then right thought. Yes, Sally, your turn to read, please. Thus,
Thus, if people think that the highest Buddha Dharma is concerned only with the mind, nature, or absolute spirit, they are going astray and abandoning themselves to degeneration. Right thought. Right thought leads to renunciation, to the abandonment of desire, and to extinction. The different aspects of faultless eightfold right path are to be accomplished simultaneously, but in the course of practice they arise in sequence. After right understanding has arisen, right thought arises, which further ponders right understanding views. Right understanding can be said to be wisdom that comes from hearing the Buddha disciple or the Buddha or the sutras, whereas right thought is wisdom that comes from thinking carefully and differentiating clearly. Those who have right understanding will definitely achieve right belief. Those who have such belief will have the intent of attaining realization. Thus, right thought arising from right understanding triggers the motivation towards liberation. Because of this, the old translation of right thought is the right intent or right desire. Right understanding of impermanence leads to right thought and towards renunciation. Sentient beings are deeply attached to the self and the world. Within the framework of right thought, seeing that everything is impermanent and involves suffering allows one to let go of fame, wealth, power, resentment, and so forth. This is letting go which leads to renunciation, comes from a deep belief in cause and effect. One renounces the world, yet one courageously does good and seeks the truth, which differs from the ordinary pessimistic outlook of life that leads to doing nothing. Right thought, which is without self, leads to the abandonment of desire. One can stay unattached to the five desires and sexual desire. For example, when hearing exquisite singing, it becomes like the sound of wind. One does not necessarily find it unpleasant, for it stirs up no emotion. After the singing stops, there is also no attachment to the memory. This is like moving one's limb in the air, there's no obstruction. The right thought of nirvana stillness leads to extinction. With the mind focus on nirvana, practice the way with everything aiming at this goal.
okay, thank you so
Renounce
much. Okay, we'll stop here first. Okay. Okay, class, let's take a look. Once we see basically we begin from the right understanding. So how do we get the right understanding? We're hearing the Buddha words. Okay, after hearing the Buddha words, then we start our right thought. Right thought is come from our thinking. According here, the definition is come from the thinking. Meaning to say that once we listen to the Dharma always mentioned that, oh, as a Buddha disciple, we should try, the world is full of suffering. So we have to let go. So once we realize that, yes, we believe the world is full of suffering, then we start have a right intention, the intention towards to the Nibbana. So that is the definition of the right thought. So the old definition, the old translation is the right intention and the right desire. But this is true because the desire is come from the belief. The belief, the whole world is suffering, and the beliefs come from where? Come from the right understanding. You see, class. Now we are studying the Dharma. Okay, if let's say after studying the Dharma three vehicle, you don't believe that oh, the world is full of suffering so no more story anymore because the whole the whole cultivation is based on you believe that the world is a suffering, and you believe that the Eight Noble Path is the path you should go through it. Okay, if let's say you don't believe this then there will be no right thought. You don't have a right intention to start to practice already. Then the end 7 or they cannot become true already. So that's why number 1 you must establish the right belief there. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, here is there anyone you are quite you feel that the Four Noble Truth and the traveling condition is really the truth as you know. Anyone, can you put up your hand? You're quite confident, yes. Mr. Leong, Mrs. Leong, Sally. So how about the rest? If you don't believe, that's my failure already. Because I feel to make you believe. Yes, Jungsin, you don't believe, you're not sure yet.
Not sure. Just learn like this and
okay, if let's say you learn just as a knowledge, meaning to say the Dharma doesn't really take effects to you. Never mind, it take times one. Okay, even you have to spend a few years to familiar with the not American English, right? And know their culture, you see. I think you still need some time to understand the Buddhism culture. How about Amanda? Same?
The 12 links actually make sense in a
Okay.
way when we study it, but
Alright.
because it doesn't, how to say, we hasn't resonate into our daily life, so it's like we cannot prove it, something like that. So that confidence level is not that high lah.
Yes. Maybe just something you can observe like a suffering, all this you can see, but quite a number of things that you cannot prove it. You don't feel the connection. How about Elena? Elena.
Sifu, actually, cause and effect and all those things, I believe there is and I also believe that what
There is a Nirvana.
Nibbana, birth, sickness, death, and all those things and things like that. But then in today's world, yes, even though there are studies that shows that there's reincarnation and things like that, that's in Buddhism, but some of the things at times can be a bit difficult to digest.
Difficult to digest. difficult than traveling the things go more deep. Never mind. So class meaning to say once we finish the class, it doesn't mean the thing ending. Anyway, the knowledge in your heart maybe just a few sentences it take time for you to relate okay. So I think it is proper. It happen in this way. So meaning to say not everybody immediately understand. So I try my best. So not total failure, I think. Not total failure for me yet. Okay, all right. So you see, okay, it's come from hearing, then come to the right thought. So meaning to say, class, from the right understanding to the right thought, it takes times. It really takes times from this stage to other stage. For Mr. Leong, Mrs. Leong, Sally, congrats for you all for successful transformation. The rest, not yet. Yes, Yung Sin? Yes.
Is there a difference between understand, knowing, and believing?
Oh, okay. Can you please interpret, define first? These are few words. Can you define them first?
So knows and understand means you learn it by experience.
Okay.
So it's like when you take poison, you will die.
Yes.
Right. Then belief is something that you don't know, but you just go with it.
Knowing if superficially, you mean?
Maybe not even superficially. It's like believing in God, but how do you know all this?
Yeah. They can't see, right? You mean something like that, right? Okay. Here, yes, I think there's a difference. But very simple to prove whether your right understanding is solid or not, because whether you have a right thought in the coming. Because right thought is a right intention, right motive already, you see. So if the right understanding not taraf, so the second one cannot develop. So if they raise their hand, meaning to say that their right understanding is quite solid. So they believe that, this Four Noble Truth is real the truth. So they will follow it until one day they will see the Nibbana. Whereas for three of you, it's quite uncertain yet. So the understanding not that taraf. It takes time the transformation within your heart. You need time to transform from the wording to the experience. Am I right? You think that's what you want to mention, right?
Because like sometimes if you know it, you don't need to believe,
Yeah. You know it, not necessarily believe, but you know it, then you believe, meaning to say what you know, you really put into your heart. Then you will do it. But for Buddhism, yes, I mean in Buddhism, hey, what point I make you understand and then finally you don't go to practice it. Am I right? In Buddhism, it's something you believe, okay, I believe that, then I have to observe the 5 precepts. If 5 precepts not easy for you all to observe 100%, am I right? Or I think in your business world, keep on lying, so normal, is it? You be Elena, right? But you will feel struggle because you believe that this is go against with the noble path you understand, you see. And then you will struggle. It is good you feel struggle because once the right understanding there, you start to practice, then you see the reality is different with our theory. So you see, if that's the case, meaning to say that you have never struggled before.
Not to say never lah.
Got a little bit struggle, right? So meaning to say your right understanding is a little bit not totally zero. Yes, I say I'm not total fail. It's not total failure for me. Okay, so that what we say in Buddhism, after right understanding, you have to come to the right intention. And start to practice. If without these steps, so meaning to say just a theory only. It's just a theory for you. You just like you sing a song, but you don't take serious what is the lyrics about. You just for entertaining purpose only. See that you saying? If you really believe, you will be very particular. 5 precepts. You see some people they are being vegetarian, they will particular, if I go to somewhere, it's whether the bowl, totally free from the garlic, onion, is how about the pot, or how about the wok, all this. Yeah, sometimes they are all particular, we can say that, but some you can say that they believe, they start to practice, they go to look for the detail already. Even though extreme, they go into the practice already. So we know that, their belief really working inside their heart. Yes, Yung Sik, am I saying the same? Am I answering you?
sometimes it's very hard to just believe, right?
Oh, okay. Never mind. You
uh,
say it take times. It take times. You're not American accent also take times to be localized. But you make it lah. Now I don't hear any not American accent in your English. I don't hear anymore. So it take times. Give yourself some time. You will digest it, and then once you start to practice, people say, "Hey, go to the bar, grab a drink." You say, "Oh no, 5 precept." Oh, so meaning to say you're already in our bandwagon already. Yung Sin. It will happen, the longer we talk, then one day you will say, "Oh no, I don't want to go to grab. I don't want to go to drink already." So you start to changing already. Okay, but now you still want to grab a drink, right? Once a while? So not yet. Yes, Amanda.
So, since we're speaking about the 5 precepts, right? Is there an importance of taking the vow, like the Gui part? How does the Gui actually affect or impact us to strengthen, whether it will strengthen our belief in
Okay, the question is so simple that, Amanda, if let's say, you see, during we study in the primary school, we are requested to wear the uniform, right? Okay, even though most of the students, they don't feel they are committed to the school, but they wear a uniform. But once they wear the uniform, they go outside. If you're ponting class, people will say, "Hey, our ponting class, you wear the uniform." You see or not? Meaning to say that once you recognize your identity, by just wearing the uniform, you feel the pressure, you feel the strength to abide by it. You see or not? Once you gui already, you recognize your identity. Okay, I can prove that we recognize our identity as a Malaysian. If during the fighting, badminton battle between Chinese and Malaysia, who support Chinese or Malaysia? Can you vote for me? During the badminton battle between Chinese and Malaysia, who do you support?
Malaysia lah?
Yes, sir. So, Amanda, you recognize your identity as Malaysian already, When you answer this, you see, it's the same, if without the Gui, you don't know what you don't recognize the identity as a Buddhist, you won't force yourself to do something. Of course, it's hard to change one.
Or would it be is actually like to understand the 5 precept and started to observe the 5 precept first, then only take the vow? Is it better that way or the other?
Okay. If you hold the first precept and without taking the vow, it's just like you said, okay, I go to study the school, but I don't want to wear the uniform. I don't want to wear the uniform. just panting only. I don't think you will be so serious. Because if the obstacle come, you say, "Oh, I'm not a student." You see, I don't wear the uniform. See or not? It's the same. You see, if you let's say you don't, you say if you don't, you don't you don't prove your identity, then the power to hold the precept not that strong. But anyway, due to your career, you no need to observe 5. You can observe number 1, no killing more easy. You do number 1 first. And then maybe you still have to grab a drink, and maybe you still have to sometime quite a number of white lie. Okay, so never mind. You just don't vow this first, because it will create trouble for yourself. You still need some socializing. Okay, so just give it up. So observe the one you can do first. Okay, the next time if you don't want to drink, you say, "Hey, sorry, I already hold the 5 precept. No drinking alcohol." You can use this as a shield to excuse to pull them. Yeah, religion is quite powerful, People will respect, "Oh, you got a religion. You buy for okay, so no drinking lah. You can drink Coke lah, something like that, You can use it as a shield actually sometime. Right or not, Elena? Agree, because you are watching on the shilling. Okay, so this is something now. Good question today, from right understanding to the right thought, Okay, next let's take a look. You see, Amanda and Yongsing, you haven't make a vow for taking refuge, not yet. Not yet. You should make an appointment with me. Okay, I will arrange for you. So confirm your identity, then strengthen your view.
I took already, Sifu.
You took already. That's good. Yongsing not yet lah. Hey, have to come. Hey.
Sunday.
Yeah. Hey, everybody, please give him some pressure, huh? We will force you to come. Okay, joke only lah, huh? Okay, huh? Okay, next, let's take a look and see how here we mentioned the right understanding definitely. You see, achieve the right belief. You see, we got to understand, then we believe, and then we start to have a motivation, and then the motivation for the liberation. So the effect we can see is whatever you do, you will think, it is helpful for liberation. You will start to think in this way, and then you can make a decision easily already. Okay, next paragraph. Okay, right thought. Yeah, Elena, please, your turn to read now.
Right thought, which is without self, leads to the abandonment of desire. One can stay unattached to the 5 desires and sexual desires. For example, when hearing exquisite singing, it becomes like the sound of wind.
Sorry, we finished this one already, right? Right? Yeah, finished. Sorry, okay.
Renunciation, abandonment of desire, and extinction are evidence of a mind moving from the world towards liberation. The resolution to renounce remains consistent from the start to the end of the way of liberation. That is the Eightfold Right Path. It is just that right understanding emphasizes the knowledge of renunciation, the knowledge of abandonment of desire, and the knowledge of extinction. The following 6 branches of the right path are practices directed towards these knowledges.
Okay, thank you so much.
Welcome.
But anyway, Yong Sing, I think if your friend call you to grab a drink, you say no lah today. They say, what's the reason? Oh, because the noble eightfold path. I think they were all just ridiculous. Am I right? I think they were very surprised. Noble eightfold path, then no more drinking anymore. All right? Very ridiculous, if I answer in this way. Okay, class, let's take a look. You see, here it mentioned that right thought is what, which is without self, leads to the abandonment of the desire. See or not? Right thought, because we have, because from the right understanding, we come to the right thought. Then the right thought is about without self. It's just like what, after the singing stop, no more attachment to the memory. See or not? Then renunciation, abandonment of desire, extinction are evidence of the mind moving from the world toward liberation. Why we keep on mentioning renunciation, abandoning desire, and the extinction? Because this is a three vehicle. I think this is not that suitable for Amanda and Yongsin. I think you all know. Just put it in your retirement plan. Once your time of retire, then you think about this. This is more suitable for Elena, Sally, and Mr. Leong, because their age, they already enough enjoying the five desires, so they get abandoned now. Since I think you're still very young, you better enjoy more. Yes, it's not suitable everybody. I think you still a lot of things you want to enjoy. So all this, just keep it in your mind. One day, once you feel the suffering behind the joy, you got something for you to further. This is the Dharma. It tells you the truth that actually the joy itself, even the joy itself is impermanent. But I think for you, even though it is impermanent, you still want it, right? At least you hold it temporary. If you never heard it before, that is really they will be regretful in the future. So please go to enjoy, even though it's a momentary. Whereas for Mr. Leong, Mrs. Leong, they are meditate every day, almost from dawn to dusk, because it's enough. It's time for them to renounce. So they will do quite different with you all. Even though they are a couple, you are a couple. You see. Okay. So feel good, right? After the Dharma class, still keep on enjoy at the night. Okay, no pressure for you all. You see, here the following 6 branches are coming. The 6th one, you will practice toward this knowledge, towards all what abandonment of desire, knowledge of extinction, and the renunciation. So I think for Mr. Leong, Mrs. Leong, sometimes you don't know whether the thing you do right or not right. So you always ask yourself whether what you do lead you to the nibbana or not, or lead you to the abandonment of desire. If yes, so that's the right thing to do. So Mr. Leong, Mrs. Leong, that is how we judge. Sometimes the detail is not available in the textbook. We judge in this way. Okay, so we go to the next already. We finished the good thought already, the right thought. Now we go to the right speech, right action, and the right livelihood. Mr. Leong, you can try to read.
Right speech, right action, and right livelihood. Verse 100. Right speech, action, and livelihood have pure precepts as their basic nature. Right understanding and right thought are the study of wisdom. The right thought to seek realization is inevitably lead to the 3 branches of right speech, right action, and right livelihood. Right speech or proper speech and writing means not lying, not backbiting, not engaging in evil or fictitious speech. Right action or proper means not killing, not stealing, and not having sex. Right livelihood means having a proper economic life. Having the correct will to seek liberation from birth and death, one will definitely manifest proper conduct. All 3 have pure precepts as their basic nature. For lay devotees, right livelihood means having the right occupation and a reasonable means of getting money. They should neither be too wasteful nor too stingy in spending, but should follow the life of the middle way as taught by the Buddha. All along, monastic disciples have relied on the offerings of alms givers as the Buddha has specially advised them to do. I have to quote a section of the Yin Tiao Jing to explain the right livelihood of monastics. Those who have the pure precept should not sell and trade, set up farms and houses, support people and keep servants or raise animals. They should stay away from planting and from all treasures as if they are avoiding a deep flaming ditch. They should not cut grass and trees, reclaim land, mix medicines, tell fortunes, use astrology to make predictions or calculate the almanac. They should be fragile and live a pure life. They should not participate in worldly affairs or be treated as government officers. They should not practice magic, make immortality medicine remedies, befriend high-ranking people, or be indecent and arrogant. They should have proper minds and right mindfulness which seeks liberation. They should not cover their flaws, but display special ability for the purpose of deceiving people. They should be content with the 4 offerings and should not store up arms. This is the brief explanation of the characteristics of keeping the precepts.
Okay, thank you so much. Class, can you check for me the reference for number 52? Yes, what's it, Mr. Leong?
4 Benipana.
I think my email might not be right.
辽收加集经啊，梯度。
How about the rest?
Last summon of the Buddha before Parinibbana.
Yes, the last summon will be right. Okay, well, class, before Buddha Parinibbana, he have a summon to the monk so especially for the monastic. Class, you take a look. You see, trade, set up farm and house, raise animal. Okay, and then you see planting the tree. Okay, You know this that it seems nowadays all the monks all doing all this. Am I right? I think we discussed this before. Okay, there's a few reasons why the monks nowadays do all this, which is different from the last sermon from the Shakyamuni. Okay, number one is Shakyamuni time is very orthodox, and also they are staying in the jungle, all right, and more on agricultural, area. So the lifestyle could be very simple, even though you do nothing. Just by pindapat, they will be fine only. But nowadays, since when Buddhism moving from Indian to China, as we just now mentioned, Chinese culture, they don't like pindapat. So you have to do the plantation by yourself. So they start the plantation already. And now if you go to the, like all this, you will see they work in trading, right? They will sell some, maybe, all the Buddhism item, am I right? Okay, why? Because once the temple getting bigger, it is quite impossible to survive by just receiving, the offering from the devotee. It's not enough. They have to make sure that they have a stable income, then can offset the expenditure. See or not? So I can say that because it's a different already. Like the way the SOP for the Delta must be different with the SOP for the Omicron already. You got to change because it's not adaptable already. So that's why it happened now. And partial, if let's say you see Buddha say, as a monk, you shouldn't go to look for Amanek. Amanek is a Tongsen, go to fortune teller, all these things. But sometimes you see, some monk go to look for feng shui, use the feng shui to help people. Some they are the physician, they still help people with their previous skills. So some they do this is due to the reason of the bodhisattva. Okay, bodhisattva for all embracing, meaning to say that in order to get closer and have a relationship to the devotee, you must help them first. Okay, so if some partial is due to the bodhisattva, this I can say that this is more open mind concept. If the conservative one, they're totally unacceptable for them. If that's the case, the best you want to follow all this, you better stay in jungle. And also maybe in a very, not highly civilized place, then you can fully practice. If you stay in the city in KL or this, I don't think you can follow. I don't think you can follow 100. I think many you cannot follow. Okay, so that is the reason. So you don't go to ask them why you do this. You know it is fine. Some even they don't know. And then one more thing is he prevent us to use the psychic to deceive to the people. He prevent. Okay. But nowadays, actually not many people know the psychic already. We want to deceive also difficult because not everybody have the ability to deceive to the people. Okay, this is the problem, you see. Let's see or not? Let's see. Okay, stay away from plantation. In China, we're doing it already, you see. Then you see, shouldn't cut the tree. If you have got a plant, you have to cut the tree, you see. Tell fortune, use astrology, and make prediction. I think you see some monk they are doing already. Okay, what should they do, you see? They shouldn't participate worldly affair and treated with the government officer. You think why? We shouldn't, deal with the government officer. Elena, you think why?
Corruption.
Okay. Anything? Is there anything to do with Earth of the corruption?
Favors and deviation of certain things, certain issues and things like that.
You mean if monk deal with the government officer, this relationship anything to do with the corruption?
Favor.
Huh?
The seeking for favors.
Favor.
We might favor corruption, you mean?
Favor can, in a way, leads to corruption.
Oh, I see. So meaning to say that, okay, you mean you have a tendency to corrupt if let's say you always deal with the government officer. See or not? So next time, maybe Yung Sing help me to deal all this issue. Yeah, actually, I think it's true. Why they need a kapiya? Not good for us to involve with this type of stuff. If we got caught, actually in Thailand, it happened quite frequent, because Thailand got so many monks. So the news actually always, you notice that, oh, there's some monk involved with this type of activity, because they don't really use the kapiya to help them. Even though the bargaining also, you see, sometimes if we go to the shop, we bargain. Sometimes if you're bargaining too powerful, so they hate you. They say, "Hey, ini botak, make me lost, cannot earn much money. I hate you, botak mang," something like that. You know, it can happen in this way. Yeah, that's why. So next time, if you go out with me, help me for bargaining. Even though you have a very powerful bargaining, finally he just hate you, he never hate me. So finally, one day he still learn the Buddhism. You see the point or not? If they hate us, finally they don't want to learn Buddhism anymore. Okay, get the point, we should actually, yeah, I try to bargain, but basically, I'm the one who is bully lah. I don't have so strong bargaining power to bully them, but they bully me more. I noticed that lah. So help me, protect me from being bullied. Next time come with me. Okay. All right, so this shouldn't practice the magic okay immortal medicine 呢个长生不老之药啦this one befriend with the high ranking people, you see. Even high ranking people you should avoid. High ranking people means what? I mean all the Datuk Tadin they ask us to avoid. Why do you think so? Mr. Leon, why do you think so? We should avoid all the Datuk Tadin, high-ranking people. Why?
We should not be what you call arrogant and proud. If associated with these high-ranking people, we must be.
Actually, all this is happening. It was happening in China already. Why the monks have to mix with the government officers? Actually, they deal with the king because they need the king to help them to establish the Buddhism. You see or not? Once you come to China, you see how come so many temples and the history can date it back to 1,000 years. Why? Because they always have some relationship between monk and the king and the emperor. So once the emperor happy, so they will give you a title as a goxi, they call it as what a national religions representative of religion, and then they will help you to build all the temples. See, but the emperor can help you to build everything, but they also can disrupt everything if their mood is bad. That's the problem. Okay. But anyway, here we still need some MP in our parliament to protect our religion. If no people protect us, finally the decision maker can set up any rule. The lawmaker can make any rules to destroy us. So Yongsen, if you wish to become a lawmaker, I will vote for you. But you have to fight for Buddhism. Okay. Yeah, I'm serious. We have to do something, not just be passive there. I say high-ranking people, then we should what? Right mindfulness and seek the liberation. Yeah, we try to do. We shouldn't cover the flaw, display special ability. You see, display special ability, it means a psychic. It means it's a psychic. They should be condemned with the four offering and should not store up arms. You store up arms meaning don't store up the bowls, don't store up any asset, everything. Basically, it's quite hard because now the retirement planning, we have to plan ourselves, Anyway, I make my view already. I want to pass away, everything will go back to the Buddhism. That's the only thing we can do. Because now, if you admit to the hospital, wherever, all need the money, you see. So you have to ready. So can you see or not? I mean, the Buddha speak out the sentence. Now they really change already. Quite hard to implement already. See or not? Okay. Next. What else? This is the brief explanation. Okay. So we start our class here. Okay.